question for you boys. More of a situation. You're stranded on a deserted island, all alone, and you've got, let's say, in 3 years' time, you'll be saved. You're allowed one video game to keep for those 3 years to play. It's the only thing you can play throughout that time. What video game do you choose?
Ooh. There's a couple of questions that spring to my mind immediately. Do we have internet connection, or is this got to be like a single player game that you're going to play for 3 years continuously?
I would say, I was going to say the game works as intended. So if it's an internet game, it has internet, but you're on a desert island, doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's say you could play an online game, but I don't think you'd have much fun. So let's just say you have internet, but it's Davy's internet. It's really shit.
And is there anything stopping me when I get into any of these lobbies just being like, help me, I'm here. They said it's 3 years away before I get saved. Please, God, come and help me. Or is it a case that I don't have voice comms?
You don't have a mic, mate. You ain't got no mic.
All right. Okay. All right. And no chat to speak. I can't cheat this in any way to get out of what could, for me, be a death experience. 3 years on my own, I'd crack. I'd be mental within 2 weeks, I reckon. It's only so long you can speak to like a ball, you know? I don't know how Tom Hanks didn't murder people when he came back to civilization. I would be that guy. If they found me and all I had was like a Wilson-esque thing, or in this case, a video game, I'd come back and they'd be murders. They would. So, you know, and that island, if it wasn't deserted, would be, by the time anyone gets there 3 years later, because I'd have killed them all. But, yeah, enough of my own psyche breaking. What game would I take? Now, this is a hard one, because I was thinking about this online thing as much as Phil was. And originally I was thinking, COD, right? COD's great. And 3 years I can get cracked. But the issue is, after 1 year, it's dead, COD. So that's out of the question. Everyone moves on to the next one. I wouldn't have the next one. So that's out of the question. And as much as I love like Metal Gear, I don't think I could play it every day for 3 years. Like, there's no way. There's only so much you can do in a single player game. I think, for me, I think I'd have to go Apex Legends, you know. I think that's going to be my choice. Because I think for 3 years, you got constant updates. It doesn't change. So it won't be that I get left behind in the dust. And in 3 years of just playing Apex, I could become absolutely cracked out the arse. And, you know, there's something to do, at least. And even if I can't speak to my teammates, which would be horrendous, I can still start getting real good at the armor swaps and killing people, right? And my movement, I can just work on, get in the training lab and just work on all my wall jumps and all my advanced movement tech and figure it all out, just become a god of Apex. That would at least keep me from killing more people when I come back. It might save one person's life. And if it's one, that's enough, right? That's enough. But that's what I'd do, Spence. Apex.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. And to be fair, it's the answer I kind of expected from you. Phil, mate, I'm hoping you'll chuck a blinder out. What's your choice?
Well, I think my choice is a pretty obvious one if you know anything about me, because I did spend 3 years of my life, if not 4 years, if not 5 years, playing one game and one game in particular. I didn't really leave my room very often. I kind of visited university a little bit now and again just to sort of clock in and sort of show my face and submit a little bit of work from time to time. But outside that, I was just playing this one game. And that one game is World of Warcraft. There is so much content in that game. And I'm talking about the vanilla. I'm talking about the release game of World of Warcraft that came out in November 2004. Now, I started that on the beta. So I played through all the testing and then got into the game in a big way. I was responsible for one of the most progressive clans at the time on the Alliance side. We were doing all the world's first without being world's first. Well, maybe not world's first, but server first stuff. And we really had a great time. We built up a massive community, and I still look back on that time with very fond memories for playing the game. But socially, it was pretty much a dark zone for me. I didn't really go out a lot, as I mentioned. University took a really big dip. I almost failed my first year of university because of World of Warcraft, and I've never gone back. I may have gone back for one of the updates afterwards just to dip in. But yeah, I've resisted it. I've come to PlayStation now. I'm not a World of Warcraft guy anymore. But you hear about these crazy stories of people really hardcoring World of Warcraft and never even leaving their desk. I heard the rumor about people having poop socks. I don't know if you guys know what a poop sock is, but you don't have to go to the toilet because you literally poo in your sock. You have a bucket of piss next to you and you poop in your sock because you cannot leave the computer. Now, you giving us internet connection on this desert island, I think I'd be fine. I don't think I'd even notice I was stranded if I was playing World of Warcraft. I had nothing else to do. I'd have a longer beard than I have now. I'd have slightly longer hair than I've got now, but I think I'd enjoy myself. I'd be level 60. I'd be sat there with my Thunder Fury, full epics. I'd be on top of the world, mate. Send me to this desert island now.
I want to know about this poop sock, if you don't mind. I want to unpack this a little bit. And now I know you've got no experience of the poop sock yourself, right? You said you've made that quite clear. I'm kind of doubting that, though. I'm kind of thinking there's a bit more to this story than meets the eye, like a transformer, if you will. So the poop sock, we're talking just a traditional sock here. So you just, what? I mean, like, I look down at the toilet bowl after I've gone, and it's like a shotgun blast, right? It's literally like it's everywhere. I don't know if you're like shitting out a log. I guess a sock could work, right? But I'm lactose intolerant, mate. I haven't seen a log in years, you know? And I mean, on that desert island, obviously, I'm not eating much dairy products, I imagine. So I probably would be under control. I'll probably be healthier than I am now because I wouldn't have cheese or milk or any of that stuff. But what do you do with this sock? Like, do you just hold it over your ass and literally just go? Or is this some kind of technique that I'm not fully grasping here? Do you have to put your hands in and spread the sock open to really funnel the shit into? I really want to get visceral with this. I want to understand this.
Okay, well, this isn't quick news, so I'm not doing an impression for you, Davey, but I'll try and paint a picture for you.
Please.
The same way it was painted for me when we were playing World of Warcraft and we were sat on Ventrilo all those years ago, and the rumour was going round about these people that would never leave their computer. They would almost do shifts in front of their computer with someone else, and the person would swap in every 12 hours, and then they would go to sleep, come back, sit in front of WoW, just to be the most progressive out of everybody. And there was those people out there, but the rumour was the way they went to toilet, and I didn't do it. You correctly identified that, Davey, because as you know from visiting me in my comatose state when I was over the computer shaking and you were trying to force vodka on me and nights out to Chepstow, and I was like, no, leave me alone. I just want to play WoW. I don't want to go outside and talk to women. I want to look at my night elf rogue. Leave me alone. But anyway, I was my bedroom was right next to the toilet in my house, so it was only a short dash when I was doing a raid, and then back to the computer. So I was able to dump my waste in the correct way. But the rumor was, and I think you'd have to have the right choice of sock here, wouldn't you? Right? You kind of would want to go for a sports sock, I would assume, as opposed to one of those naked socks that you can't see when you just wear trainers. You know what I mean?
I thought you meant a trainer sock then, yeah. I was going to say the wrong choice.
I'm talking about the ones that go up to your knee.
The
like you're
tube
playing
socks.
Football. Yeah, like a sports sock.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, all right. The one that comes to your knee anyway. So you've got a bit of space to experiment then, haven't you? So as you're bent over, forcing it out, you could almost catch as much of it as possible rather than just peeling a little tiny sock over your arsehole. But that's how I'd imagine it would work. I didn't put too much thought into it at the time. I just thought it was ridiculous because I live next to a toilet. It was completely easy for me to go. But those guys that had a bit more of a dash than me, maybe that was the right choice. And maybe they got to level 60 before me. You never know. Maybe the sacrifice was worth it.
I mean, the thing about it is, if you can fit a shin pad in one of those sports socks, you can easily fit a dump, couldn't you? So maybe there's something to that. I think that's probably a smart option. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I think
it's different, mate.
Oh, yeah?
I think that's not how it works at all. I think they just have a little hole in their seat that they poo through, and you're basically a vegetable when you're a WoW player. You don't do anything. You don't eat. You don't bathe. You just sit there and poo and play WoW. I think the parents come in, much like you would when walking your dog. They put the sock on their hand, and then they pick up the poo and turn it inside out. And the parents just treat you like a vegetable dog.
Oh my God, no. That's horrific. I mean, my parents used to come in and feed me and water me, but they weren't picking up my shit at the time. Oh, sir. Jesus, Spence, that's a horrible image.
Yeah.
But now we've got a thumbnail.
Me with a tube sock on my hand.
Jesus Christ.
Well, fair enough. To be fair, you boys have gone for the longevity play with your choice of games. You've gone for the what can I do to stay entertained. I would say probably Davies is a better choice, just because you will have definitely been sacked by your job, Phil, and that's just £10 a month coming out with World of Warcraft, whereas Apex is a free-to-play game. So that's the one leg up. I would rather be playing WoW, though, out of the two. My choice, if I was alone, I would just take Super Mario 64. And I would come back with the fastest world record speedrun anyone has ever seen. And then I'd be massive on Twitch and I'd be set for life. And that'd be it. Easy.
I can imagine after 3 years of playing nothing but Mario 64, it would cause like shell shock. You know, any time you'd see it start like booting up on like an N64 or however you're playing it, and it just begins, and you know, you start with that stupid camera guy in front of Peach's castle, that would start triggering you, and you'd think back all the way back to what you've gone through and how you've survived this torturous time on this desert island.
Well, little speedrunning trick for you there, my friend. If you jump on the far left side of the bridge over to the door, you skip him.
Ah.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
I'll never trigger that. If I ever miss the skip on stream, I'll be like, but other than that, it's fine. As long as I hit that skip, I'll be okay.
Now, I don't know a lot about speedrunning. I've dabbled and I've seen a few bits and pieces. I've talked to a few people who claim to be into speedrunning. But it's all about the community, I've heard, right? So if you're on this desert island, you've got no one to speak to. So you've got 3 years to figure this out by yourself. Now, I don't think many speedrunners actually figure it out by themselves. Generally, they share tasks, don't they? They split up the video game, they take a certain area, and they try and run it faster. Then the next person comes through, runs it even faster, and goes, well, I did it X way, and I did it Y way. How would you do that in 3 years, Spence? Because you're just fighting yourself. It's just a mind game. You'd be constantly just trying to one-up yourself.
Yeah, that's the whole goal of speedrunning, baby. Beat it faster next time, and eventually you learn tricks. You will learn yourself. I already know how to do 16-star run in 20-something minutes. So I would just be bringing that time down. I already know my tricks. I just got to perfect the game.
But wouldn't that be awful? You've spent 3 years. You're there patting yourself on the back. And you walk out and you look online and Phil Hoy's done it faster. Whee! And I'm there like this at the airport. Lucky boy. 3 years. I just looked online and followed a guide. Wake up. How would you feel?
I'd be okay, because I believe my movement from the 3 years would be better, and I would just watch the same guide and do it faster. The only issue I'd have is because all I have is this one video game. I wouldn't actually know how fast I'm beating the game. I would just have to be like, oh, that felt quick. And then that'd be it. That's my only dilemma. I'd have to come back after the 3 years and be like, all right, how fast am I? And then, yeah, it's slow as shit. But that's the hope to improve. A chance to better myself in this single pointless aspect.
Well, fair play to you, Spence. I mean, I'd definitely rather take WoW or Apex any day rather than just Mario 64. But audience, please let us know right into the show, right into our email, pswetrust@gmail.com, or, and more preferably, hit us up on Twitter, @InPSWeTrust, and let us know, what game would you take on a desert island trip for 3 goddamn long years?